Hello there and welcome to another tape preservation segment. In this segment we are going a bit advanced when it comes to preservation and preserve your precious little tapes. The thing is that recently I have done a few segments where I have been going through a very nice and competent program called Spectacular. But in this episode, as we can see on the screen here, we are running something else. This is a very nice device that makes it possible for the C2N to talk to your USB serial interface. Alright, how is this possible, you might ask yourself, and I'm gonna be the explainer here. I'm gonna explain to you what's going on. Okay, so this device is called DC2N4, and 4 is the revision. They have a few other revisions out there which do different things. And if you want to see more and get more detailed information about the different flavors, so to speak, you can always go into Luigi Di Fraia's homepage and take a closer look for yourself and follow his footsteps. I have been following his footsteps for many years, and I think what he is doing is an amazingly work. You should really check it out. He is a very good guy, and he is inspiring other people to get themselves together and do what they should do, and that is to preserve your tapes. Alright, so this is, like I said, going to be a bit of an advanced actually preservation tutorial or segment. Yeah, back to the device that I was mentioning. Alright, this is a little fine black box that you connect to your USB interface, and then you also have to have a dataset, of course. So the dataset can talk to your computer via this little box. Also, to be sure that everything is running well, you need a little bit of juice for the tape, or not the tape, but the dataset. The dataset needs to drive the motor, and the USB port itself doesn't have enough power to drive it, so you need an external power supply for that. But that's no worries whatsoever. Everything is explained, and I will leave some comment or not comments. I will leave some, fundamental descriptions in the little box down below there if you wanna read it. Anyhow, let's get started. Alright, so when we are looking here at the menu, the first thing here we are seeing is the setting. And the good thing about this device is that you can have multiple of them. And in this one I have choose to have on my USB COM3. But you can have as many ports you have on your computer, USB ports that is. That's how it is. You can have like 5 or 6 or 3 of these. And also you want to have it connected. And you can see that this one in my case is connected to the serial device. And in the format menu here, if we're moving this little fine window, you can see that we have sampling format, and you can choose from the Commodore 64 format, to like WIC20, the C16 4 Plus generic. The generic is what you want to use when you are not entirely sure about what kind of cassette you have received or tape. Then you want to use the generic because it has a bit of a different behavior when it's digitalizing the signal. But we're gonna choose Commodore 64 in this case because that is how much I know about the tape, that it should be at least Commodore 64 data on it. Anyhow, we can also use the video standard from PAL to NTSC. So this is nice. And also you can use half waves if you're choosing the generic format, I mean. Alright, and the dump button here, well, it says what it does actually. It's dumping the tape. Start dumping a tape. And the about box, no, abort, I mean, sorry, we're getting a little bit ahead here. But the abort button, yeah, if you want to stop, if you just, oh no, this didn't work, And about, you get a fancy little about box here. And this program is written in GTK Plus, so you have to make sure you have the latest build for this. It will tell you if it doesn't work and quit if you want to quit. But anyhow, I have prepared an unknown tape here that I have no idea what's on this tape. The only thing I know is that I have been trying to read it in Spectacular, but I didn't have so much luck because it was, for some odd reason, it didn't want to read. And even if I have like an external monitor, a little tiny monitor, it didn't show me what was going on. So that's also when you can use this dump program. Because as we are seeing here, we have 3 nice lines, and this is of course for the long pulses, the medium pulses, and the short pulses. So we have like an, how to say, you have some kind of reference lines which are good if you are unsure about the signal. So we have like references where when you're tweaking the head, then you can make sure that you line up the signals or the signal here. So this is really outstanding. But anyhow, let's get started now. First of all, we're gonna choose dump, and I'm going to just give this a destination where I wanna save my files. That is always a good thing. So I'm just gonna type in, this cassette has some kind of label on it. It's called XYZ11. Don't know why. And I'm also labeling this a little bit different. Or not different, but I'm using an A. An A is for the A side, of course. Alright, so now we can see that if we're looking down here, the column 3 says press play on tape, and that is exactly what we want to do. So we have pushed the play button, and it says dumping down here. When we are looking at the signal, this is indeed indicating a few things. We can see that these 2 lines here indicates that this must be turbo tape format, and this line here, I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. But we also see some ambient noises here, which also indicates that we need to get Mr. Screwdriver and give this data set a bit of a screw job, if you mind me expressing myself that way. I'm just tweaking carefully here because you need to be careful here. Oh, now if we are looking here, oh, it stopped now, but that is perfectly normal. It's probably because this was the first turbo file on the tape. And now we can see what I was talking about. Yep, look here. It's intercepted mini turbo, and this is the good thing. You can see that this is the long pulses, medium pulses, and short pulses. So everything is looking fine here. So far, so good. So this is the mini turbo. This is the actually turbo 250, I would assume, or super tape turbo, or any other turbo. But this guy here unfortunately made his own name. Alright, we can see that these 2 lines, when they are looking this tiny, it means that we are receiving turbo 250 data here. And we can also see that the file name is intercepted with Chinese juggler. That is excellent. And this is what I'm talking about. Compared to like Spectacular or other transferring programs, when you want to transfer from tape to disc or any media actually, this is good because you have like full control of the signal. You can see the signal, how it is working its way. And if we're looking here, we can see some little glitch there, or glitch actually. I'm not entirely sure what that is. It could be anything from audio damage, no, not audio damage, but maybe just little, click. Something happened there. Maybe a moped or something ran by. The refrigerator could have popped and you got like a little spike there. But it doesn't matter. Okay. And this is also indicating that that was the end of the turbo file, actually, or turbo 250 to be more precise. We can see again that this is the CBM kernel loader, and it has like the sync signal and the pilot and everything like that. And we also received the file name, which was again Mini Turbo. But we can see that so far so good, I would say. And I'm wondering why I wasn't able to read this on the Spectacular. But anyhow, we see that now Heidi's Bill arrived in the park. And it's looking good. We have some artifacts here along the side here, but it doesn't matter because this has a very, very nice tolerance, so it can read, well, actually the full data that is stored on the tape, or not on the tape actually, what the head can read from the tape, because there are some differences between a dataset and an ordinary cassette deck, but I will cover that in another tutorial or segment actually, because we're gonna focus on this equipment and this environment, so to speak. So we see that things are going really well, and we could probably just leave this one and it would go on and on and on and save all the files from this tape to the specific file name that I just gave it. And another good thing is that this program, or the DC2N4, it has full connectivity to the dataset, and it means that if we would reach the end of the tape, it would stop. It would stop the tape, and it would bring up a little window telling that the tape has been dumped, which is really, really good, because what you don't wish, or, well, it depends on, but I don't want to have that. It's when the tape is kind of, when it has reached the tape, the tape's end actually, it will, start just going around, and that will nag on the motor and probably run it out, because it's no good. It would be worn out actually. All right. We can also now see that we have reached a new file called Sane, or Srain, I don't know, and this was Dino Eggs. And if we looked here at the signal, we can see that it was a bit crusty, but still it's in the good range and the good zones, so we are in good business. And if we're also looking here, we can see this is thicker compared to these guys over here. And it also is a bit differently aligned. This could be if you're running it on a stock Commodore 64 with Spectacular or Turbo Tape to Disk or anything of these toolboxes. It would probably mean that you have to realign your head. But in this case, I don't have to do that, because this program is very competent, so it's reading from, or actually, it saves more data than what Spectacular can do. Or I'm referring to Spectacular because that's the program I have been using most. And now we can see that we have some weird segments here, which we don't know what it is, but these we can extract out with a tape cleaner program and just, see what's going on here. And here we can also see that we are intercepting, or intercepted file name is Turbo, so this is probably a standard Turbo 250. But it also, here you see that indicates end of this segment, and this is the, like I said before, the sync and the head and the leader, everything. So this is a very, very mysterious tape because it has different data stored on it. Now we have some turbo tape data again coming up, who dares wins. And here we can see that this is more alike, the signal here is more alike the one we had in the second segment of the stream here. So this indicates that this tape has probably been reused, so to say. It's been, you know, one of these swappers tapes, so to speak. You just went to your friend's place and that guy, he saved, or she saved the game with her dataset on your tape, and you walked to the other guy and the other friend and did the same. That's why you will get different signals. Types, or no, not types, but settings, I can say. Yeah, settings, you know what I mean. And here again, we can see that we have some kind of, yeah, snop over. All right. It's the PWOV, so to speak. So this is, I'm not sure what this is, but this is something that we are going to, or well, I'm going to extract it later on and check it out. And here again, we can see that we are receiving turbo tape data again. And we couldn't intercept the file name because it was a bit fishy here. But no worries whatsoever. We are in good business here. This is no problem at all. Because you can use, like I said, that tape cleaning program. You can use it to kind of for tapex, or yeah, you can use that to analyze the data. Or the dumped data, actually, should be more correct to say. All right, the tape is spinning on, and we are, I'm not sure what we are going to see actually here, but I'm hoping that we will see something nice. Or does it mean that this is the end of the tape? I'm actually thinking it is, because this was a pretty short tape. Yep. Oh, did you see? Or here, I don't care. But here it says that information finished. So this stopped the tape automatically. I didn't have to do anything about it. And I'm just clicking close. That's it. And now we have a perfect dump of this. So let's do some conclusion about this. Let's line up a few facts here. This was a very good example, this tape, I mean, this actually, because you had different type of data on this tape. First you had some kind of turbo data, then you have the CBM kernel loader, and you have turbo data. Yeah, so it was a mixed tape. And this is not the typical way to store your turbo files on the tape, to have it like have the turbo interpreted, or whatever it's called, like after the turbo file you have the CBM loader turbo CB. Yeah, you get the jazz, you know, get on the floor and dance, you know. Usually you have just turbo tape files entirely on the tape. Maybe the first file would be like the turbo, the Mr. Z250 turbo or something like that. But you don't mix them up like this. And this is something that could cause some problems when you're using other transferring tools, because sometimes they get confused, and of course you're also curious what kind of data you are receiving. And well, then you have to stop the tape, you have to reset the computer, you have to use, you know, L, Shift O, Enter, or yeah, Shift lock, run stop to load the CBM file. And then you're not sure, and you have to rewind the tape, and you have to, yeah, you know, it takes a bit of time. But this is, the DC2N4 has some power in that case, you can see, because you can just leave the tape going and the program going, and you can do something else, take a shower or whatever you want to do. I'm not the guy to judge, you know. But anyhow, I hope this has been some kind of useful for you, and as always, leave comments and yeah, anything. Tell me what you want to see and if you want to see more or anything like that. And I hope to see you in another one. Bye!